Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah, good to be back.
All right, so today we're going deep on wealth building habits,
Mm.
specifically how to kind of accelerate that process.
Yeah.
We hear a lot about, this or that tip or trick, but we want to kind of get to like those core habits
Yep.
that really move the needle.
Exactly. Yeah, and we've dug into a bunch of research. Kind of looked across the board. What are the things that wealthy people, kind of consistently do, that maybe are different from the average person?
And we want to make sure that you walk away from this deep dive with like at least one concrete action you can take right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no more just kind of theoretical knowledge, like how do we actually put this stuff into
Let's
practice?
get tactical.
Exactly. All right. So the first habit that just kept coming up over and over again is this idea of paying yourself first.
Right.
Now, I feel like I've heard this before, but I'm not sure I fully get it. Like, what does that really mean?
Yeah, it's a simple concept, but it's so powerful, and it really comes down to prioritizing your savings before anything else.
Okay.
So instead of, waiting till the end of the month and seeing what's left over, you decide up front, okay, 20% of my income, that's going straight to saving.
20%. Wow, that's a big chunk.
It is, yeah. And the sources we looked at, they really emphasize that that's kind of the minimum to aim for if you really want to accelerate your wealth building.
So, like, how does someone actually do that, like, practically speaking?
Well, one of the best ways is to automate it. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account or your investment account, as soon as you get paid.
That makes sense.
That way, it's taken care of before you even have a chance to spend it.
Yeah, because if I see it in my checking account, it's gone.
Exactly. It's so much easier to resist temptation when the money's not even there.
So that's habit number one, pay yourself first, automate it, make it
You
happen.
made it happen.
Okay, number two is invest early and often. Now I feel like everyone talks about investing, but I think a lot of people get intimidated by it, or they think, oh, I need to have like a ton of money to start.
Right.
What's the real key takeaway here?
The biggest thing is to just start now, like literally today. Time is the most valuable asset you have when it comes to investing.
Even more than money.
Even more than money because of this concept of compounding.
Okay, explain that one to me.
So basically, it's like the snowball effect. You invest a little bit of money, it earns a return, and then that return earns a return, and so on.
So it grows exponentially.
Exactly. And the earlier you start that snowball rolling, the bigger it gets over time.
So even if it's just like a small amount to begin with, it's more important to get going.
Absolutely. The sources we looked at, they all agree on that, consistency and time are the biggest factors.
Okay, so what are some of the ways people can actually start investing?
Well, there are lots of options, stocks, real estate, index funds, there's something for everyone. But the key is to do your research. Find something that aligns with your risk tolerance and your financial goals.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Exactly. There are tons of resources out there, financial advisors, books, websites. Don't be afraid to reach out and get some guidance.
Okay, so we've covered paying ourselves first. We've covered investing early and often.
Yep.
Habit number three is avoid lifestyle inflation.
Oh, yeah, this is a big one.
I think you're all guilty of this to some extent.
Right. It's so easy to fall into that trap. You
Yeah.
get a raise, you get a promotion, and suddenly you need a bigger house, a fancier car.
Yeah, you got to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. It completely undermines your wealth building efforts because you're essentially spending all of your extra income.
So how do we break that cycle?
Well, it takes conscious effort, being mindful of your spending habits, really questioning, do I need this new thing? Or am I just buying it because I can afford it now?
Right. It's about being intentional with your money.
Exactly. And, realizing that true wealth isn't about stuff. It's about financial freedom.
Yeah, it's about having options.
Exactly.
Okay, habit number four, keep learning.
Hmm.
Now, this one might seem a little bit out of place, but when you look at the research, it's so clear that wealthy people are constantly learning and growing.
Yeah, absolutely. They're always reading books, taking courses, attending seminars. They're never satisfied with the status quo.
So how does that translate into wealth?
Well, for one thing, it keeps you ahead of the curve. You're learning about new opportunities, new investment strategies, new ways to make money.
Right, so it's not just about like financial knowledge, it's about expanding your skill set in general.
Exactly. And it also helps you develop a growth mindset. You start to see challenges as opportunities, and you're more likely to take risks and try new things.
Which can lead to, bigger rewards.
Exactly.
And the last habit we want to talk about is multiple income streams.
Yeah.
This one seems like it's becoming more and more important in today's economy.
Absolutely. Gone are the days when you could just rely on one job for your entire career.
Right. You got to have a side hustle.
Exactly. And it's not just about security,
Yeah.
it's also about accelerating your wealth building by increasing your income.
So what are some examples of multiple income streams?
Well, it could be anything from, starting a side business to investing in rental properties to creating online courses. The possibilities are endless.
And with the internet these days, it's easier than ever to, create something and put it out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The barriers to entry have never been lower.
So the key takeaway here is to not put all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Diversification is key.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Pay yourself first, invest early, and often avoid lifestyle inflation. Keep learning and create multiple income streams.
Those are the big five.
Those are the habits that can really accelerate your wealth building journey.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making small, consistent changes over time.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
So as you're thinking about these 5 habits, I want you to ask yourself, what's one small thing you can do today? Just one small action to start implementing one of these habits.
I like that.
And that's your homework. That's your challenge for this week.
Yeah.
And we'll see you back here next time for another deep dive.
See ya.